The origins of Hathor, goddess of the cosmos and the Milky Way. In the dim light of ancient Egyptian nights, under a vast sky strewn with stars, one could sense the quiet yet powerful presence of Hathor. To the people of Egypt, she was not just a goddess, she was the embodiment of love, compassion, and the boundless force that governed the universe. Hathor was both a celestial being and an earthly presence, bridging worlds that seemed infinitely distant yet felt intimately close. Her origins are woven into the cosmos itself, a profound and mysterious tale stretching across the Milky Way, that vast river of stars known to the Egyptians as the Celestial Nile. Hathor's connection to the stars begins with Mehet-Werit, the Great Flood, a divine cow whose milk is said to have created the Milky Way. As Egyptians gazed up at this shining stream across the heavens, they saw it not merely as a collection of stars but as something sacred, a tangible reminder of Hathor, who nourished not just the heavens but also the hearts of humankind. The Egyptians revered her as a goddess of dualities. She was both gentle and fierce, serene and powerful. Her presence as the goddess of the Milky Way wasn't a distant, abstract notion. Rather, it was a personal experience, as though each person held a spark of that celestial light within them, a reminder of Hathor's love and protection that stretched from the heavens to the earth. But Hathor's reach went beyond the visible stars. She was believed to inhabit every aspect of the natural world, a force that pulsed through the cycles of life and death, creation and renewal. The ancients felt her presence in the seasons, in the rhythmic flow of the Nile, and in the quiet of the desert at night. Hathor, as the goddess of the stars, brought comfort to those who feared the darkness and strength to those who sought solace. Her role as a celestial being was both nurturing and omnipotent, a blend of divine care and untouchable power that filled the Egyptians with awe. At times, Hathor was known as the Mother of Mothers, a title that evoked her connection to Nut and Mut, two other sky goddesses in the Egyptian pantheon. Nut, who arched her star-filled body over the earth, was said to swallow the sun every evening and give birth to it each morning. Like Nut, Hathor had the power to oversee cycles of life and death. She carried the wisdom of ages and the strength of creation itself, nurturing every soul who looked to her for protection. Her connection with Nut and Mut reflects the harmony and balance she maintained, a presence that held the universe together even as she touched the lives of individuals. For the Egyptians, Hathor's celestial identity was more than symbolic. It was a source of hope, a belief that each person was protected by a power greater than themselves. In Hathor's story, they found a reason to believe in both the light and the dark, in joy and sorrow, in life and death. Her role as the goddess of the Milky Way was an invitation to embrace the mystery of existence, to find meaning in the beauty of the night sky, and to recognize that even in the darkest hours, there was always a divine presence watching over them. Hathor's mythology reveals her as a guardian of souls, a being who could move freely between worlds. She was not confined to the heavens, rather, she flowed between realms, bridging the cosmic and the mortal. Egyptians believed that Hathor would guide souls through the afterlife, leading them along the river of stars until they reached Osiris, the god of the afterlife. This journey was not one of fear, but of comfort, a reminder that Hathor would always be there to protect and guide her children. Her role as both a mother and a cosmic protector illustrates the Egyptians' view of death as a journey rather than an end, a path lit by the gentle radiance of Hathor's love. This dual nature of Hathor, the life-bringer and the guardian of the dead, is one of the most intriguing aspects of her character. Unlike many gods, who held either a creative or destructive role, Hathor embodied both. She represented birth, growth, and nurturing, but she also understood the necessity of death, the quiet ending that allowed for new beginnings. Hathor's connection to the stars gave her a unique perspective on the balance of life. She could see beyond the fears and desires of humanity, and in her wisdom, she knew that all things were part of a greater whole. This understanding gave her the strength to comfort those who mourned, to celebrate those who rejoiced, and to guide those who wandered. In Hathor's gaze, the Egyptians found solace. She did not judge, she simply watched over them, offering a love that was as unconditional as it was profound. Her presence in the heavens reminded them that there was something greater, something eternal, in which they could place their trust. Hathor was more than a goddess, she was a constant companion, a source of comfort, and a protector of souls. Her story invites us to look beyond our immediate struggles, to see life as part of a grand, interconnected cycle that stretches across the universe. To honor Hathor was to celebrate life in all its forms. She was present in the laughter of children, the love between family members, and the music that filled Egyptian temples. Her role as the goddess of the stars was a reminder that joy and sorrow are intertwined, that light and darkness coexist, and that each moment is part of a larger rhythm. Hathor taught the Egyptians that life was a gift, that beauty could be found in every breath, and that even the most ordinary moments were sacred. As the goddess of the Milky Way, Hathor was a symbol of eternity. She was not bound by time or space, she existed in every heartbeat, in every star, and in every sigh of the wind. Her presence was felt in the gentle rustling of leaves, in the warmth of the sun, and in the quiet of the night. Hathor was a reminder that the universe itself was alive, a vast, breathing entity that held all things together. Her story is one of love and resilience, a tale that speaks to the eternal connection between the divine and the mortal, the stars and the earth. In Hathor's story, we find a reflection of our own journey. Her life and presence offer a path to understanding our place in the cosmos, to seeing ourselves as part of something much larger. She reminds us that we are never alone, that there is a force greater than ourselves that watches over us, guides us, and protects us. To embrace Hathor is to embrace the mystery of life, to find peace in both the known and the unknown, and to recognize that we are all connected by a bond that stretches across the stars. As we look to the heavens and see the Milky Way, we are reminded of Hathor's presence, a gentle, powerful force that transcends time and space. She is a goddess, a mother, a protector, and a guide. She is the light that shines in the darkness, the love that fills the emptiness, and the strength that holds the universe together. Hathor's story is not just a tale of gods and goddesses, it is a story of life itself, a reminder of the beauty and mystery that surround us, and a call to find our own place within the vast, endless expanse of existence. In Hathor, the Egyptians found not only a deity, but a friend, a source of comfort, and a beacon of hope. She was the goddess who bridged worlds, who understood both the joys and sorrows of life, and who offered her love freely to all who sought it. Hathor's legacy lives on, not only in the stories of ancient Egypt, but in the hearts of all who look to the stars and find solace in their gentle light. To know Hathor is to know the universe, to see beauty in every corner of existence, and to feel the embrace of a love that is as vast and eternal as the cosmos itself. Part 2. Hathor, the nurturer, protector, and mother of all. In the silent shadows of the ancient temples, where candles flickered and the fragrance of incense wafted, Hathor's presence was a warm, comforting light. The Egyptians saw her not only as a celestial force, but as a nurturing mother, a source of life who walked among them, understanding their struggles and offering protection in ways both quiet and fierce. Unlike the distant gods who governed from afar, Hathor was close, intimately woven into the daily rhythms of life, an embodiment of love that was personal and protective. Her influence extended into the most tender moments, as well as the most challenging, offering guidance that was as present in laughter as it was in sorrow. To the Egyptians, Hathor was known as the Mother of Mothers, a title that spoke to the boundless compassion she showed to humanity. She was often depicted cradling a child or standing alongside a mother, her face soft, her eyes filled with warmth. In moments of vulnerability, women called upon Hathor as their divine ally, a goddess who understood the mysteries of birth and the trials of motherhood. She was more than a deity, she was a source of strength, a figure who exemplified the love and resilience found in the bonds of family. Hathor's care extended beyond mothers and children to all who sought her protection. Her embrace was open to every soul, for she was not bound by judgment or condition. Hathor's heart was a well of compassion, deep and inexhaustible, touching all who looked to her in times of despair. She was there for the farmers praying for bountiful harvests, for the warriors who sought courage before battle, and for the sick who needed healing. Hathor was a mother to all, her love stretching across Egypt, across deserts and rivers, through villages and bustling cities. She was in the cries of newborns and the songs of the elderly, in the life cycle of every being that thrived under her care. One of the most mystical aspects of Hathor's protective nature was her manifestation as the seven Hathors, ethereal beings who watched over each newborn at the moment of birth. These seven entities, distinct yet connected to Hathor, were thought to appear by a child's side to cast their fate. As guardians of destiny, they whispered promises and predictions for the newborn's life journey, blessing them with resilience or cautioning them of trials to come. The seven Hathors were both mysterious and revered, a reminder that fate itself was intertwined with Hathor's will. In this way, each life was seen as sacred, a creation entrusted to the care of Hathor's celestial daughters. The seven Hathors brought an aura of mystery and reverence, for they held the power to influence the threads of fate. Mothers would place offerings before statues of Hathor, beseeching her to send the seven Hathors as watchful guardians. It was believed that a child blessed by Hathor would grow strong and wise, guided by an inner light that protected them against hardship. The seven Hathors were symbols of hope, a belief that every soul was safeguarded from the moment it entered the world. In times of uncertainty, mothers would turn to Hathor and her daughters, drawing strength from their divine protection, trusting that they were never alone on the journey of life. For the Egyptians, this close, protective relationship with Hathor created an unbreakable bond of trust. Her love and care permeated every level of society, from commoners to royalty. Pharaohs, too, revered Hathor not merely as a goddess, but as a divine mother. Temples dedicated to her were built with grandeur and adorned with images of her cradling pharaohs, a reflection of the belief that her power elevated rulers, granting them the wisdom to govern and the compassion to protect their people. Hathor's temples, often constructed in alignment with the cycles of the sun, were architectural marvels that symbolized her connection to the heavens, yet her presence within these walls was tender and approachable, a sanctuary for all who entered. Hathor's role as a nurturing protector was also reflected in her association with beauty and love. In the art and imagery of the time, she was frequently depicted with a mirror, a sistrum, or a menet necklace, symbols of beauty and music. The Egyptians revered beauty not as a superficial trait, but as a divine quality, one that reflected the inner harmony of the soul. Hathor taught them to see beauty as a celebration of life, a way to honor the divine within and around them. Women would adorn themselves with mirrors and cosmetics bearing Hathor's symbol, knowing that in doing so, they were drawing upon her energy, becoming vessels of her radiant strength and grace. The mirror, an instrument of self-reflection, became an emblem of Hathor's influence. It encouraged Egyptians to look within, to see beauty as something that flowed from the soul rather than from outward appearances. Hathor's followers believed that by caring for their bodies, by dressing with care, and by expressing love, they were honoring Hathor. In this way, she was not just a goddess, but a living ideal, a reminder that beauty, like love, was transformative. To embrace Hathor's teachings was to embrace oneself, to see life itself as sacred, and to treat each day as a gift. Beyond her influence on personal beauty, Hathor was the goddess of joy and celebration. The Egyptians understood life as a series of rhythms, a cycle that echoed Hathor's celestial dance among the stars. In her temples, music and dance were considered holy, a way of communing with the divine. Priests and worshippers would play the sistrum, creating an intoxicating rhythm that was believed to summon Hathor's presence. The dance and music offered to her were more than simple acts of worship, they were expressions of a joy that was central to Egyptian spirituality. Hathor's followers believed that by dancing, they could enter a state of ecstasy, a joy so profound that it lifted them closer to the heavens. It was Hathor who taught the Egyptians that laughter and joy were not mere distractions, but sacred acts. She showed them that pleasure was as much a part of life as duty, and that by embracing joy, they could experience a fullness that was divine. To laugh, to dance, to love, these were gifts that Hathor bestowed upon her followers, reminders that the hardships of life were balanced by moments of pure delight. Her teachings encouraged people to seek harmony within themselves, to honor their desires without shame, and to celebrate life in all its forms. In a world filled with uncertainty, Hathor's joy was a balm, a way to find peace amid the chaos. But Hathor's nurturing spirit was not without strength. She was a protector, and though her love was boundless, she would defend those under her care with fierce determination. Hathor was known to transform into a lioness, a fierce embodiment of her protective nature, when her children were threatened. This form, Sekhmet, was Hathor's shadow, a reminder that love, too, could be a powerful force of protection. When the Egyptians strayed from harmony or forgot their connection to the gods, Hathor would become Sekhmet, unleashing a righteous fury upon those who had lost their way. She was not a goddess to be taken lightly, for her love demanded respect and reverence. The tale of Sekhmet's wrath is one of the most striking aspects of Hathor's mythology, illustrating the duality within her nature. When humanity forgot its place, Sekhmet would descend, her eyes blazing with the fire of divine judgment. Yet even in this form, she did not act out of hatred, but out of a desire to restore balance. Hathor's love was unwavering, but it was a love that expected honor and gratitude. When Sekhmet roared across the land, it was a call for humanity to remember their connection to the divine, a reminder that life itself was a privilege, not a guarantee. In the end, Hathor would always return to her gentler self, a cycle of transformation that illustrated the complexity of her character. She was a goddess who knew both wrath and mercy, who could bring life or take it away. Her role as both nurturer and protector made her one of the most revered deities in Egypt, a goddess who was as feared as she was loved. Hathor's strength lay not just in her power, but in her wisdom, a wisdom that saw beyond the moment, that understood the necessity of both creation and destruction. To the Egyptians, Hathor was a divine mother, a goddess who held them in her embrace and guided them through life's trials. Her nurturing presence was a comfort, a reminder that they were never alone. In her, they found a protector who defended them fiercely and a mother who loved them unconditionally. Hathor's love was a gift, a divine force that illuminated their lives and connected them to the vastness of the cosmos. She was a goddess, yes, but she was also a friend, a companion, and a source of inspiration. Hathor's story does not end in her temples or in the myths passed down through generations. Her legacy lives on in the hearts of those who find strength in her teachings, who see beauty in the world and embrace joy even in the face of hardship. She remains a symbol of love and resilience, a reminder that life is a journey of growth and transformation. Through Hathor, the Egyptians learned to celebrate the simple moments, to honor the divine within themselves, and to walk with courage and compassion. In Hathor's embrace, they found not only a goddess but a guide, a being who taught them that life was sacred, that love was powerful, and that even in the darkest hours, there was light. Part 3, Hathor, the guardian of joy, beauty, and inner harmony. In the vibrant and often tumultuous world of ancient Egypt, Hathor's presence was a reminder of balance and joy. She was the goddess who brought beauty and harmony into the lives of her followers, her influence woven into every aspect of Egyptian society. As the deity of music, dance, beauty, and pleasure, Hathor taught that life's richness lay not just in survival, but in embracing and savoring every moment, in finding joy even in the mundane. Her role as the patron of joy and beauty created an enduring legacy, making her a central figure in Egyptian culture and spirituality. Hathor's connection to beauty was not merely external. For the Egyptians, beauty was considered an act of devotion, a way to honor the divine essence within themselves. Hathor, with her symbols of mirrors, jewelry, and adornments, inspired people to recognize and nurture the beauty that flowed from within. Every morning, as Egyptian women and men alike dressed, they saw their reflection not just as their own, but as a part of Hathor's divine radiance. They believed that to respect and care for their appearance was to honor Hathor's teachings, to acknowledge the inner beauty that she saw in each of her followers. Temples and homes alike bore her symbols, and her followers would adorn themselves in finely crafted mirrors and wear sacred amulets that bore her likeness. One of the most cherished symbols of Hathor was the Menet necklace, a powerful emblem representing joy and fertility. This necklace, with its pendants and beads, was believed to carry her blessings, encouraging those who wore it to embrace the fullness of life. The sistrum, a musical rattle used in her temples, was another important symbol. As worshippers played it, the gentle rattling sound was believed to summon Hathor's presence, infusing the space with harmony and joy. Music and dance were vital expressions of devotion to Hathor. For her followers, playing music, singing, and dancing were not just acts of celebration, they were acts of reverence. Hathor's worshippers believed that by entering the rhythm and movement of dance, they could reach a state of spiritual ecstasy, a place where their souls connected with the divine. In her temples, priests and priestesses would lead dances, their bodies moving in patterns that symbolized the cycles of life and the harmony of the cosmos. It was a joy that transcended ordinary pleasure, a state of mind that brought them closer to Hathor, the divine source of their joy. In her role as a goddess of joy, Hathor was a figure who encouraged her followers to cherish the good in life, to focus on what they could celebrate rather than what they lacked. For Hathor, beauty was not just in the lavish adornments or elaborate ceremonies, it was in the daily rituals, in the simple acts of kindness, and in the laughter shared among family and friends. Her message was clear: beauty and joy were not rare, unattainable states, but forces that could be found in the smallest moments, in the smiles of loved ones, and the peace of a quiet evening. Beyond the personal joy she inspired, Hathor's influence reached into the broader community, guiding the Egyptians to live in harmony with one another. Hathor was the goddess who taught them to cherish unity and to understand that every member of society played a vital role. During times of strife, the Egyptians turned to Hathor, seeking her guidance to restore balance and peace within their communities. Her temples became places not only of worship but of healing, spaces where people could gather, celebrate, and mend the rifts that threatened their social harmony. Hathor's teachings extended into the community through the concept of Mat, or divine order, an ideal closely associated with harmony and balance. Though the concept of Mat was primarily represented by the goddess Mat, Hathor embodied it through her joy and compassion. Hathor's joy was a reminder that true balance was found not in austerity but in the fullness of life, in laughter as much as in solemnity, in celebration as much as in reflection. To embrace Hathor's joy was to uphold Mat, to find the equilibrium that kept the community strong and thriving. But Hathor's teachings on beauty and harmony were not only about the community, they were also about one's relationship with the self. Hathor encouraged her followers to look inward, to understand and accept themselves fully. She taught that to truly experience joy, one must first be at peace with oneself. Hathor's image on mirrors was a reminder of this principle, a symbol that the beauty of one's soul was just as important as the beauty of one's outward appearance. She encouraged her followers to recognize their own worth, to embrace self-love as an essential aspect of life. Egyptians found comfort in knowing that Hathor loved them unconditionally, for she did not judge her followers based on their strengths or flaws. Hathor's embrace was universal. It extended to all who honored her, offering acceptance and a love that was as boundless as it was unconditional. Her love was a powerful force, one that inspired her followers to practice self-acceptance, to let go of self-doubt, and to live authentically. Hathor's image in the mirror was a reminder that they were worthy, that they were part of something greater, and that their lives had meaning beyond measure. This acceptance of the self also extended into Hathor's teachings on relationships. As the goddess of love, Hathor encouraged her followers to cultivate relationships that were harmonious and filled with mutual respect. In her name, lovers would exchange tokens of affection, friends would forgive one another, and families would reunite after disagreements. Hathor taught that love, like joy, was a force to be nurtured, a bond that held society together. She inspired people to love one another as she loved them, unconditionally, generously, and with a heart open to forgiveness. In the lives of the Egyptians, Hathor's teachings on love, beauty, and harmony became essential, guiding their daily actions and interactions. Her influence reached into the most intimate corners of their lives, encouraging them to honor each other, to celebrate their uniqueness, and to embrace the joy of being alive. Through Hathor, they learned that life's beauty lay in connection, in the bonds of family and friendship, and in the moments of joy that wove together the fabric of their existence. As the patroness of beauty, Hathor was also a goddess of creativity and self-expression. She encouraged her followers to find ways to express their individuality, whether through art, dance, or music. Hathor's presence was felt in the temples adorned with intricate paintings, in the statues crafted with care, and in the vibrant, colorful clothing worn by her followers. To the Egyptians, these forms of self-expression were not frivolous, they were sacred acts that honored the goddess who had given them the gift of creativity. Every brushstroke, every song, and every dance was a tribute to Hathor, a celebration of the divine spark she had placed within them. But Hathor's role as a guardian of joy and harmony went beyond mere celebration. She was also a goddess who understood the fragility of happiness, who recognized that joy could be as fleeting as it was precious. Hathor's wisdom lay in her ability to remind her followers to cherish each moment, to understand that beauty was not permanent, and that life's pleasures were gifts to be appreciated. She taught them that by living fully in each moment, they could find a deeper, lasting joy that would sustain them through life's challenges. Hathor's temples were places where this wisdom was passed down, where her priests and priestesses would teach the young and old alike to appreciate the beauty around them, to see the world through eyes of wonder and gratitude. In her temples, people learned that life itself was a masterpiece, a work of art shaped by their experiences, their loves, and their sorrows. Hathor's teachings encouraged them to embrace life's impermanence, to see beauty even in its transience, and to celebrate the journey rather than the destination. In every aspect of life, Hathor's presence was a reminder that beauty, joy, and harmony were not just ideals but tangible forces that could transform the world. Her influence encouraged the Egyptians to live with open hearts, to find joy in one another, and to cultivate a love for life that transcended hardship. Hathor's teachings were a path to inner peace, a way to navigate life's complexities with grace and resilience. Through Hathor, the Egyptians discovered that to honor life was to honor her. They learned that beauty was not only in what they saw, but in how they lived, that joy was not just in moments of celebration, but in the quiet, everyday acts of love and kindness. Hathor's legacy as a goddess of joy and beauty endures, a testament to the power of harmony and the transformative nature of love. Her message remains timeless, that in life's simplest joys, in the beauty of connection, and in the harmony of the self, there lies a divine truth, a reminder that each of us holds a piece of the cosmos within, shining brightly in the heart of Hathor's eternal embrace. Part for Hathor, goddess of fertility, renewal, and life's endless cycles. In Egypt's ancient worldview, Hathor was not only the embodiment of joy, beauty, and love, but she was also deeply intertwined with fertility and the cycles of nature that sustained life. Her influence stretched across fields and riverbanks, into the lives of farmers, hunters, and all those who depended on the earth's bounty. For the Egyptians, Hathor was the nurturing force that allowed life to flourish. Each harvest, each birth, and each season's renewal was an offering from Hathor, a gift from a goddess who gave generously but demanded reverence in return. The fertile lands of Egypt relied on the yearly inundation of the Nile, which brought fresh silt and water to renew the soil. This cycle of flooding and renewal was seen as a divine act, and Hathor's spirit was believed to flow through the river, bestowing the blessings of fertility and prosperity. The Egyptians revered her as the Lady of the Flood, a goddess who could bring life-giving water to dry soil, transforming barren lands into lush fields of grain and fruit. Hathor was a symbol of nature's abundance, a goddess who embodied the earth's ability to regenerate and sustain life. For the Egyptians, fertility went beyond agriculture. It was an essential aspect of human life. Hathor, as the goddess of fertility, was invoked during childbirth, marriage ceremonies, and harvest festivals, where her spirit was called upon to bless those seeking fruitful outcomes. She was viewed as a mother to all life, a force that guided the miracle of birth and the growth of the young. This was not limited to physical fertility but extended to creativity, wealth, and success. Under Hathor's influence, everything that grew and flourished, whether in the field, in the home, or in the heart, was seen as a blessing of her abundant spirit. Hathor's role in fertility was often symbolized through animals, particularly the cow, which was sacred to her. The cow, an emblem of nourishment and motherly care, represented Hathor's gentleness and her power to provide sustenance. Her temples often included images of Hathor as a cow with the sun disk between her horns, her large, gentle eyes watching over her followers. In this form, she reminded her people of the nourishment she provided, both physically and spiritually. Her milk, like the floodwaters of the Nile, was a symbol of sustenance that fed the earth and its people, a reminder that Hathor's love was as nurturing as it was life-giving. But Hathor's gifts were not merely about providing for physical needs, they were about creating a balance in life. She encouraged her followers to honor the cycles of growth and decay, to understand that life's abundance was intertwined with the seasons of loss. To the Egyptians, Hathor taught that prosperity and renewal came only through respecting these cycles. She was present in the blooming of flowers in spring, the harvests of autumn, and the quiet, contemplative period of winter. Her influence was a call to accept life's transience, to see beauty in each stage, and to cherish what was given before it returned to the earth. Hathor's temples became centers of this seasonal worship, where festivals and rituals celebrated the abundance she provided. During the annual festival of Hathor, worshippers gathered to honor the goddess and offer thanks for the year's harvest. This festival was not just a celebration of physical wealth, but a spiritual renewal for her followers. They would bring offerings of fruit, grain, and flowers, symbols of life's bounty, to her temples, thanking her for her gifts and seeking her blessings for the coming year. The festival of Hathor was a time for Egyptians to recognize their dependence on her, to feel connected to the natural world, and to embrace the cycle of growth, decay, and rebirth that she governed. Hathor's role in the festival highlighted another aspect of her personality, her capacity to renew not only the land, but also the spirit. In her temples, rituals were performed to invoke her presence, to ask for healing, and to seek guidance. These rituals went beyond mere physical well-being. They were an opportunity for worshippers to restore their inner lives, to let go of the past year's burdens, and to renew their commitment to a life of balance. Her followers would come to her temples with offerings of incense, flowers, and oil, asking her to cleanse them of sorrow and misfortune, to fill them with hope and resilience. For the Egyptians, Hathor's healing presence was a gift that extended to the afterlife. In death, as in life, Hathor was a nurturing guide, believed to welcome souls into the afterlife and offer them sustenance as they journeyed through the land of Osiris. Her image was often carved into tombs and burial shrouds, a symbol of protection for the soul in its journey beyond the physical world. Hathor's role as a mother extended even to the dead, as she offered peace and comfort to those who had passed from this life. For the Egyptians, death was not a final separation but a transition, one where Hathor's love and care continued to reach across realms. In this role, Hathor was often associated with the sycamore tree, a sacred tree that represented protection and shelter in the harsh desert landscape. The sycamore's shade was a symbol of Hathor's care, a place where souls could rest and be refreshed. The Egyptians believed that Hathor would greet souls under the sycamore, offering them cool water from the tree's roots. This imagery of the sycamore, shading and protecting travelers in both life and death, added another layer to Hathor's role as a goddess who bridged worlds, who could bring peace and comfort in any realm. Hathor's presence as the guardian of the afterlife was not one of judgment, but one of compassion, a mother's welcome to souls weary from the journey of life. Hathor's connection to renewal and rebirth also extended to her worshippers' understanding of personal growth. The cycles she governed were not only those of nature, but those of the spirit as well. Her followers looked to her for guidance in overcoming hardships, believing that through her, they could find the strength to let go of the past and embrace a new beginning. Hathor's worship was not just a reverence for the Earth's cycles, but a journey toward inner transformation. She taught her followers to live in harmony with themselves, to accept their flaws, and to recognize that renewal was always possible. Through Hathor's teachings, the Egyptians came to understand that life itself was an endless cycle of growth, decay, and rebirth. Each season, each harvest, each stage of life was part of a larger rhythm, a harmony that extended beyond the individual and into the collective experience of humanity. In Hathor's view, every loss was a prelude to new life, every hardship a step toward greater understanding. Her worship encouraged her followers to trust in this cycle, to find peace in its inevitability, and to celebrate its beauty. In times of drought or hardship, the Egyptians would pray to Hathor, asking her to restore the land's fertility and bring rains to nourish the soil. She was seen as a powerful intercessor, a goddess whose love for her people could alter the very fabric of nature. Her role in the natural world was a reminder of her omnipresence, her ability to influence all aspects of existence. Hathor was not merely a goddess who provided, she was a goddess who understood the depths of human need, who responded to the suffering of her followers with compassion and strength. The Egyptian farmers, who depended on the land for survival, saw Hathor as a partner in their labors. They would leave offerings in her honor at the edges of their fields, small tokens of gratitude for the goddess who brought them rain, sunshine, and soil rich enough to sustain their families. These acts of devotion were simple yet profound, a recognition that life's sustenance came not just from hard work, but from the blessings of Hathor, who watched over them with a mother's care. But Hathor's gifts were more than just survival, they were about living with abundance, in spirit and in body. She taught her followers to see life as a cycle of renewal, to find joy even in times of hardship, and to trust that each season would bring its own gifts. For Hathor, life's meaning was found not only in prosperity, but in the resilience to embrace change, to honor the present, and to trust in the promise of rebirth. In Hathor's temples, the people of Egypt found a sanctuary where they could come to give thanks for the earth's bounty, to seek guidance for the future, and to renew their spirits. Hathor's teachings on fertility and renewal became a way of life, a philosophy that encouraged them to live fully, to honor the cycles of nature, and to find beauty in each season. Through her, they discovered that life was a journey of growth and transformation, a path that led them ever closer to the divine. Hathor's legacy as a goddess of fertility and renewal remains a powerful symbol of hope and resilience. She teaches us that life is not just about enduring, but about thriving, about finding the strength to rise from the ashes and embrace the promise of a new beginning. Through Hathor, the Egyptians learned to see each moment as sacred, to trust in the cycles of nature, and to believe in the possibility of rebirth. Part 5 is Hathor, the eternal legacy and her influence beyond Egypt. As one of the most revered goddesses in ancient Egypt, Hathor's influence reached far beyond the Nile Valley, spreading into cultures and civilizations beyond Egypt's borders. Her image was inscribed into stone, her temples crafted to withstand the ages, and her story woven into the hearts of those who encountered her legacy. Hathor's impact was profound and lasting, extending across time and space, resonating with values and ideals that transcend her Egyptian origins. Today, her legacy serves as a bridge between the ancient and modern worlds, inviting us to explore her timeless teachings on love, beauty, and balance. Hathor's temples were among the most celebrated architectural marvels of the ancient world, with the temple complex at Dendra standing as a testament to her enduring presence. Built with remarkable precision and adorned with intricate carvings of Hathor's image, the Dendra temple was more than just a place of worship, it was a sacred sanctuary, a place where her followers could feel her presence. Travelers from far-off lands journeyed to Dendra to pay homage to Hathor, drawn by tales of her kindness and power. The temple stood as a beacon, a reminder that her influence was not confined to Egypt but extended to all who sought her guidance. Beyond her temples, Hathor's symbols and mythology traveled to distant lands, reaching as far as Greece, Rome, and parts of the Mediterranean. She became associated with other goddesses like Aphrodite in Greece and Venus in Rome, deities who, like Hathor, embodied beauty, love, and fertility. This cultural exchange reveals the universal appeal of Hathor's characteristics, as people from diverse backgrounds found resonance in her teachings. Hathor's influence on these goddesses underscored her timeless role as a figure of compassion and vitality, bridging cultures through shared ideals of kindness and joy. The cross-cultural impact of Hathor's image is also seen in her integration with the Phoenician goddess Astarte and other deities in the ancient Levant. The symbolism of Hathor, her cow horns, her mirror, her sistrum, blended seamlessly with these cultures, highlighting universal values such as love, joy, and beauty. Hathor's presence was felt in trade routes, artworks, and religious practices that extended well beyond Egypt's borders, marking her as a goddess whose influence could not be contained. Her image, carved into statues and depicted in reliefs, became a reminder that love and beauty were ideals that transcended boundaries, ideals that were as meaningful in the Greek Isles or along the coasts of the Mediterranean as they were along the Nile. As centuries passed, Egypt's ancient temples slowly began to weather and fade, yet Hathor's story persisted, preserved in texts, artworks, and oral traditions. Her legacy became part of the mystical allure of ancient Egypt, a symbol of a civilization that once thrived on the banks of the Nile. In later eras, during the revival of interest in Egyptian mythology, scholars and artists rediscovered Hathor's image, drawn by her complex and multifaceted nature. Her symbols appeared in European art, literature, and philosophy, influencing the Romantic and Victorian periods, where she became emblematic of divine femininity and the eternal cycle of life. In modern times, Hathor's teachings and values continue to inspire. She serves as an archetype of divine femininity, a symbol of inner beauty and self-empowerment. As people seek balance in their lives, they turn to Hathor's ideals of joy, harmony, and compassion. Her influence can be seen in movements that celebrate self-care, spiritual growth, and appreciation of beauty, all of which echo Hathor's ancient teachings. Her lessons in kindness and self-respect are more relevant than ever, offering a pathway to resilience and fulfillment amid the challenges of modern life. Hathor's legacy also provides a powerful reminder of the importance of balance. In a world that often values productivity over peace and success over joy, Hathor's life teaches that harmony is found not through competition but through compassion. She reminds us that beauty, creativity, and love are as vital to human existence as food and shelter. Her ancient wisdom offers solace and encouragement to those who feel disconnected from themselves or from the natural world, urging them to find joy and meaning in life's simplest pleasures. Today, Hathor's story invites us to reflect on our relationship with the earth and with one another. Her role as a guardian of fertility and renewal speaks to a modern society that faces environmental challenges, reminding us of the importance of respecting nature's cycles. Hathor teaches that abundance is possible only when we live in harmony with the world around us, that prosperity is sustainable only when it is approached with gratitude and care. Her teachings inspire a renewed appreciation for the natural world, encouraging us to see ourselves as stewards of the earth, responsible for nurturing and preserving it for future generations. For those who seek personal growth, Hathor's story offers a framework for embracing change and self-acceptance. Her life illustrates that true beauty and joy come not from perfection, but from authenticity, from living in alignment with one's inner truth. Hathor encourages us to embrace our individuality, to see our unique qualities as gifts rather than flaws, and to cultivate an inner harmony that radiates outward. Her teachings remind us that life's true wealth is found within, in the ability to love, to forgive, and to grow. In the hearts of those who honor her memory, Hathor remains a mother, a guide, and a source of endless love. Her message is clear that life, in all its complexity, is a gift to be cherished. She teaches that joy is a choice, a commitment to see beauty in the world and to live with compassion and integrity. Hathor's story calls upon us to celebrate our lives, to embrace our connections with others, and to live with gratitude for the abundance we receive. The spirit of Hathor endures, transcending her origins in ancient Egypt to become a symbol of universal love and compassion. Her legacy continues to guide those who seek joy, balance, and fulfillment, offering wisdom that has stood the test of time. As we look to the stars, as the Egyptians once did, we are reminded of Hathor's eternal presence, a divine light that shines through the ages, illuminating the path to a life of beauty, harmony, and inner peace.